Hey, it's Greg here from Madison Pro Audio. I just wanted to talk about our Waves setup with the M32 here at St. Dennis in Madison, Wisconsin. We're using the M32 and Waves SuperRack in order to send out a nice mix for a live broadcast that we've been doing here, and yeah, it's been going really well. So I just wanted to talk about our routing. Okay. So first of all, our card out. We're taking inputs from the stage. And we're feeding our card inputs from the stage from a DL251 stage box, AES50 A1 through A24. Those are feeding the card inputs 1 through 24. Then we're using a user out to feed the aux inputs on the board, or to feed from the aux inputs on the board to SuperRack. We're using a user output on that. And let's see if I can show you that. That doesn't come up there, but if we go to user out, then we can see that we're sending those aux sends right there, 1 through 6, and out 15 and 16. That's going to my mains. Okay. All right. Now, what I just said was we're feeding from the stage, and we're feeding from our auxes on the board to the last 8 channels of the Waves card. We're using auxes 1 through 6, and we're using outputs 15 and 16 to process the main left, right. Now if we go to our input section, we can see that we're returning on the board from the card channels 1 through 24. That gives me individual processing on my first 24 channels, so I can process with Waves on the first 24 channels individually. And then I have some local inputs. Those are just not going to Waves. Those are just local inputs for me at my desk. And then user in 1 through 6 is our aux assignments. So we were sending out of the auxes into Waves, and now we're going back into the board with those auxes on this user group right here, card channels 25 through 30. And those are coming back into the board on the auxes, which are right here, aux 1 through 6. Now with these, we have 4 subgroups set up and 2 effects returns. Now let's go through how we did that. So if we go to our auxes, we go to our subgroups. We have one subgroup for drums, and that's right here. And if we go to config, you can see that we're inserting aux 1. So that is our Waves processing. That's an insert, and we've inserted that into subgroup drums. Okay? Now that's over here, subgroup drums. Okay? Since it's a subgroup, we don't have to have this fader up in order to hear it. Now, if we go through our buses, basically our instrument bus is assigned to aux 2, and so forth. Our vocal bus is assigned to aux 3, and our speech bus is assigned to aux 4. For our effects, these are effects sends. We've got aux 5 and aux 6. Okay? So because aux 5 and 6 are effects sends, we actually have to return the effects from Waves right here. See if I can get a better view of that. So that's card 29 and 30. And those faders have to be up in order to hear the effects coming from Waves. So what that looks like on the Wave side, here's our subgroups: drums, band, vox, speech, verb, and delay. 29 and 30, we're doing some H verb and H delay with an F6, and then we're returning 29 and 30, and that's where those returns are on the board right here. Now for our main, we have our main right here, and the last step here in order to hear all this processing that we're doing is we're going to route card output, card input from the main. That's our 15 and 16 out that we set in our user group, to card input into SuperRack 3132, and we're going out 3132. And how we get this to come out of our mains is we actually assign our XLR out to card 29 through 32. So when I plug in the output in the back of the desk, 15 and 16, that's telling the mixing board to take card output 31 and 32 and output that out of XLR 15 and 16, because up here we're going 13 through 16, so card output 29 is automatically assigned here to 13 through 16. So 31 and 32 are going to be 15 and 16. And that's how we get our post-processing from Waves. So that's how you do 24 mono channels. We'll look at that right here, 24 mono inputs. And these are just copies from the first layer. And then 4 subgroups. We're doing mono subgroups because I'm limited on the card count and the subgroup count of the M32. So I would normally do a stereo subgroup, but in this case we're doing mono subgroups. And then we have 2 effects coming from SuperRack, and we have on our main output some processing, and that's going directly to live stream. So that's our setup, and thank you for watching.